Hey guys, Brian Boer with Berkshire Hathaway, and here is March 2020 lender update. Today, I have my friend Jeremy Helgoe with First International Bank in Fargo. We're going to talk a little bit about lake property, and you have a lake place. You've kind of went through the deal. What exactly do you guys do for lake financing? All that fun stuff?
So I actually have a place over in Detroit Lakes area on Lake Sally. It is my second lake home. In regards to financing, as regards to second homes, it's very similar to purchasing your primary residence. When it's involved in regards to qualifying, it's pretty much the same parameters.
Gotcha.
We look at debt to income ratio, credit score, the same thing. The only difference is that you need a minimum of 10% down versus with primary, you can go down as low as 3 to 5% down. And then you need to have a little bit of reserves, but cash reserves. But anyways, the biggest thing with lake homes is that they're not all year round.
Correct, right?
Some of them are seasonal, which means they shut them down, they shut the water off. And so what happens is that to get fixed financing on the secondary market, you need to have it needs to be a year-round cabin. So if we have a situation where it becomes seasonal, you will get declined financing, and that is noted by the appraisal. So on my first lake home, I purchased on Toad Lake in Frazee. It did have a heating source in there, but the well was not insulated and it was not heated, and it was flagged by the appraiser, and it was declined fixed financing due to it not being a year-round cabin. So we at First International have a wonderful in-house product. So we ended up closing it in-house. So which basically means it's not fixed for 30 years. It's temporary financing. It allows you to close on unique situations. In this case, a seasonal home. And then I actually contacted the appraiser to find out what it would take, and he just said just need to insulate it and have a permanent heating source. So we closed on it, put a permanent heating source, was just baseboard heat, and then we refinanced it and qualified on the secondary market.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it was a really good way to basically make sure that you closed on time with your current contract, so you didn't lose the property.
Correct.
And then basically afterwards, at your own leisure, you have the option to make it year-round.
Yes.
And save yourself, especially if you're going to live there or own it for many, many years. Yeah. Getting fixed financing is a pretty huge deal.
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, this is where your family's at, your kids are at. They're growing up, and it's a place that you're going to keep for many years. And you want to make sure that you can get fixed financing. So if we do run into an issue, it's just as simple of figuring out what it's going to take to get there. But we have a variety of options at First International to accomplish the dream of owning a lake cabin.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And speaking of the dream of owning a lake cabin, you guys have some really good kind of rate lock programs. So if someone is going to have a longer contract, we see it sometimes where someone falls in love with a property in the fall and maybe they don't want to close till spring just because they go south for the winter, or builds. You guys do some really cool rate locks, which is kind of a big deal right now because rates are crazy low.
Yeah, right now, as of today, is just we're at historical lows. Like we just don't know where bottom's at this stage. With that being said, we do have a 12-month new construction lock. So if someone is going to build a new house, we know that there could be change orders and that the price could change, which then affects the monthly payment. And what we offer is a 12-month new construction lock where we will lock you at today's rate. So if today's rate was, just to give you an example, was at 3.25, and we lock you in on a 12-month, 30-year fixed at the market rate, 3.25, and then it'd be an eighth point higher than market rate. So you technically be locked in at 3.375. But it'd be guaranteed fixed, would not change. And then once you're within 60 days of closing of your new construction, because it can take time, 4, 6, 8 months, and we don't know where rates are going to be at, you then can relock it again for free within 60 days.
Oh, nice. So
with that being said, if rates drop to 3% and you locked in at 3.375, you can then lock in at that new market rate, whatever that rate is at.
Gotcha.
So it gives that peace of mind. It's like a kind of a free insurance product that allows them to know what worst case scenario is of their monthly payment, and making sure there isn't going to be any changes on their lending side.
Oh yeah, that's huge. No, especially like when you talk about, usually when someone's doing a construction loan, they're not. It's going to be an expensive deal. It's more than just your $150,000 mortgage.
Right.
And so the difference of 1%, I mean, can be huge. I mean, it can be a couple $100 a month, maybe even more.
Massive, yes,
you know.
Exactly, depending on the price point.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
And people do tend to want to build,
Yeah.
you know, especially if you're building your last place. People do tend to build, I mean, some people will push it because it is their last place. Might as well build once instead of building twice.
Right.
Pay those realtor fees once instead of doing it twice. So, so awesome. No, that's great information. Appreciate you coming out today, and
Yeah.
look forward to it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Cool.
So hopefully you guys found this information useful. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or Jeremy a call. Anything real estate or financing related. Thanks.